Okay, here was his numbers last night, Brew. 39 minutes, 39 points, 5 assists, only 1 turnover. He shot 79% of the shot selection that I know is near and dear to your heart. Mid-range jumpers.
Well, he did take 7 threes, but yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say teaching moment, all right, for the youngsters out there.
We can't.
Because coach, it's all the way up to the NBA. But youth coaches are teaching youngsters only shoot the 3 or in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Youngsters do not abandon the mid-range. And last night was Exhibit A. Shea is Exhibit A all season. He's going to win the MVP based on a lot of mid-range shooting. But Kawhi Leonard hit 4 mid-range jumpers. He's only 4 for 5. So, like you said, he shot a lot of threes, got to the rim. He made more mid-range jumpers by himself than the entire Nuggets team. The Nuggets made 3, Kawhi made 4. And it's always there. It's kind of like the toss off the glass
always
for
available.
a dunk. It's always there now because teams want you to shoot that. All right. This was a reminder, Nick, of how great Kawhi Leonard is. Like, we only get to see it every blue moon, it seems. But when he is at his best, like he was last night, and he seems healthy, let's hope he stays healthy, his team has a chance of winning any game, and he impacts the game just about as much as anybody in the league. Like, I would argue that he can impact the game as much as Jokic, even though Jokic will fill up the box score more. Kawhi with his scoring and his defense.
Well, that's why.
Right.
Jokic is a better offensive player than even healthy Kawhi. But the defense is huge.
Too. Last night, Nuggets shot 2 for 12 when Kawhi was a primary defender. We saw he got the late steal with 37 seconds left. But also, his defense helped spark. I mean, they're a great defensive team anyway with Zubac and Chris Dunn and those guys. But they had 13 steals. Kawhi had a lot to do with that, with his aggressiveness. Like, he set the tone offensively and defensively. And their 13 steals, and they helped create 20 Denver turnovers for 21 points, that really was the game. Because you look at the box score, and there's a lot of numbers that would make you say, how'd the Clippers win this game? Right? I mean, Denver shot like 44% from 3. Out-rebounded them by, I think, 18, doubled them up on the offensive glass, and got to the free throw line for 10 more free throws. They didn't shoot it well from the line,
they still made
but they took
more.
10 more free throws than the Clippers, and yet the Clippers, because of Kawhi's force offensively and then him and the rest of them playing defense, that was the game, and we got a series, folks.
We definitely have a series. The 20 turnovers on the Nuggets side was the key, and 7 of those were by Joker. We'll get to him. Listen, healthy playoff Kawhi has been exceptional in every playoff run of his career except for the bubble.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, young Kawhi, when he was, hey, go be a defensive stopper, he was exceptional, averaging 8 points a game, exceptional in his role, which at the time was kind of like an earlier Amen Thompson for the Rockets. Like, hey, we don't trust you to shoot. You can't shoot because young Kawhi couldn't shoot, but you can be a great defender. And then he evolved into this guy, a guy that a lot of people, I'm not one of them, but a lot of people think that the Warriors with Durant, not the 73-win Warriors, the first year Durant was in Golden State, the 2017 year, they were blowing the Warriors out in game one of the playoffs.
They could have won that.
And a lot of people think they would have beaten the Rockets.
I can't go
Warriors.
that far.
Me neither.
Maybe,
but who knows?
Yeah, but
and then Zaza undercuts him, and then really, he's never been fully healthy. It's not from that injury, but from that moment, he's never been fully healthy. Now, we do tend to be very, prisoner of the moment about everything. I think it is worth noting, Kawhi was just as healthy as he was last night on Saturday. And on Saturday, he was the 3rd or 4th best player in that game.
He played really well, but didn't do anything down the stretch.
Correct. Yeah, and Harden was better. Yeah. Joker was better. Jamal Murray was, close to him. So it is, I don't think you are, I think it is, not that you're saying it, it is overstating to be like, well, healthy Kawhi is best player in the playoffs. I don't believe that.
No, I wouldn't.
I do believe that healthy Kawhi can have more than just one game like this.
Yeah.
Like, it would not surprise me if he has a 13 for 19 for 34 points, later this series, because since March 1st, he's been 26, 7, and 3 on 54, 43, 85 splits, and the Clippers have been excellent. And I think it is very important because there was a period when Kawhi was arguably, maybe inarguably, the best defender in basketball, certainly one of on the short list. Then as his offensive workload increased, his defensive actual production was kind of outstripped by his reputation. He was still a good defender, but not dominant. But he is still a good to very good defender.
Yeah.
And when we are talking about the other guys, like Steph or like Joker, who we expect to be dominant postseason performers, Luka, those guys are nowhere close to the defender even Kawhi at this stage of his career is, and that's where he can have a real impact on a game that nobody else on his team, Brew, in my opinion, played great. No other Clipper was outstanding last night.
Zubac was okay.
Zubac was good, and I thought
was solid.
yeah, they were fine, but they needed every last minute of it.
Brew, you famously abandoned your Clippers. You turned them into my Clippers.
Yeah.
Are you having a change of heart long term towards the Clippers?
You want to get me there so bad.
No, I'm happy. At first, I resisted it, and then I started watching Chris Dunn's from New London, Connecticut. I was like,
You got them? They're
You
your
gave
Clippers?
them to me, so yeah. So I started to like the team a lot. Here's why. I like the underdog. So I looked at the team, and I'm like, you know what? Chris Dunn was out of the league. Now he's back, and he became just like, I'll be a defensive guy. You know, I like a Ben Simmons layup. It always feels like it's worth 4 points.
He had a strong layup last night, too.
It was good.
I was like, are we going to get more of that?
No, and the answer was no.
Still, but
it was a powerful.
You have a
move.
lot of guys that are here and can get up there.
Their whole team has been counted out.
Yes.
They have been Harden has been counted out.
Yes.
We know he's going to struggle in the playoffs. Kawhi's been counted out because of injuries. You mentioned Chris Dunn. Zubac is solid.
was just never counted
right.
in.
He's just
right.
he's a good player that's improved to be a very good player.
Some people's most improved player.
Ben definitely written off.
And Norm Powell's
been a good bench player.
But he's good.
But I get look. This is hard to know because how good really is Denver? That's what you're wondering because these are two evenly matched teams.
Not good.
Well, if they're not good, right, then what are the Clippers?
Good.
I think the Clippers are good.
They're in the playoffs good, but they're just they're not a good defensive
hold
team.
on. I don't think
because they're giving the Clippers all they want.
I mean, and I'm not trying to call in receipts. I really don't remember. I had Denver in 7. I still feel that way. Who did you pick?
Clippers in 7.
You picked Clippers in 7, and you don't make picks.
I don't know.
Or I don't know if I picked the game.
Okay, but you had Clippers in a long series. I had Denver in a long series. I think it is contradictory is the word I was looking for. Sorry. I need an extra nicotine patch this morning.
Need one
for
or
you,
put one on?
No, I need an extra one. My brain's not firing the way it needs to. Stayed up too late watching the games. For you to think the Clippers are a good team and Denver is not. These two, with both of these games,
they're good. I
could not have looked like more. To me,
way.
these two teams, they're very different, but they are. If we're rating teams on a scale of 1 to 100, these two teams' ratings have to be close to identical through 2 games. Through the regular season, they have the same record. In the playoffs, they have both of the games. One went to overtime, the other one came down to the final shot. They are as even as two teams can get, at least my opinion.
I find the flaws. Every team in the playoffs has flaws outside of the Celtics. The flaws of Denver, we have a brand new coach. We're not good at defense.
Sure.
We don't take threes. Our roster is not as good as it was when we were champions. I don't think that can really be overcome in the playoffs. The flaws of the Clippers are fun to root for. Like maybe Ben Simmons can score 8 points.
Right.
Maybe Kawhi can deliver a vintage.
That's
it's
fair.
more
You
fun
look
to root
at them,
for.
though. What are the flaws? They're great defensively. They got a great coach.
History.
They can score. Right.
That's
but I'm
the
just
flaw.
saying, like, tangible. There are, and I'm not saying they're winning the West.
Harden's choking.
Okay, but these are all kind of intangible things.
Yeah, that's why it's
like you look at their roster and you say, I don't really see anything missing. It's just they're probably not good enough to win it. But they're like,
but if everyone plays at their best,
shooting, they've got defense, they've got 2 stars that can create their own shot. They've got size and
they've got enough depth. I would say they don't have a lot of depth, but compared to Everyone in the West, other than OKC, they have as much depth
they got
as
enough
anybody.
depth. I don't think they're the best team in the West. I'm just saying they don't have the flaws like Denver. You can point to real tangible flaws.
Championship
I don't know
coach.
that you can
And a two-time Finals MVP is their best player. One last thing why I thought last night's game was so shocking is the wrong word, but surprising and important. This wasn't one of the games where Kawhi got 2 days between. They played Saturday, they played Monday. He played high minutes in both, was excellent. So I feel like for them, this was, Joker said it. Either team could be up 2-0 or down 0-2. I get that. But this was a game that I expected the Nuggets to have a better finishing kick because they're used to the altitude, they're used to the higher workload, you know what I mean? And the Clippers doing that with only a day between games, really impressive.
Kawhi's averaged over 36 minutes the last 2 months.
Yes.
This is incredible, his return.
Yes.
Like, he's playing big minutes. Did play some back-to-back, so this is interesting.
All right, meanwhile, Denver finds themselves headed back to L.A., tied at 1. Jokic had his 19th playoff triple-double, good for third all-time, but also had 7 turnovers and went 6 for 10 from the free throw line. Okay, here's Jokic last night, 26, 11, 10, 7 turnovers and shot 50%, but 0 for 3 in the last 2 minutes. No, and 2 turnovers in the last 9 minutes. Does Denver need more from Jokic?
100%. And listen, fair, Joker is the best player in the world, and he has a history of being awesome in the playoffs. Even when his team was not, he typically was awesome. Yesterday was one of the rare occasions where if we were saying, hey, were the Denver role players good enough to win the game? The answer was yes. And their biggest problem was their best player didn't play like it. And that, listen, all of the greatest players ever have all had bad playoff games, but when heavy is the head that wears the best player alive crown, and it is fair to say he cost his team dearly yesterday. In the fourth quarter, he had the weird thing where he thought the shot clock was winding down. It wasn't. He throws the ball up. That game-tying attempt is one of the worst game-tying attempts you're ever going to see, and I think it is noteworthy that in Game 1, he had Russell Westbrook open in the corner and was like, you know what? I'm going to make the right play. He's wide open. That one, he had Aaron Gordon from his spot, who's a far better three-point shooter. Russ has been good wide open, but still, Gordon's good from the corner, and he took it himself. He just seemed out of sorts, and this is so, again, I picked Denver in 7 because of him, because I think he is that great, but every guy ever who's been the best player in the league, that when he has a brutal game that he is, and I do think brutal might be too strong.
I don't think it was brutal.
But yeah, but a game where certainly worse than the stat line suggests, at least to me, and I thought they needed more from him and he didn't have it.
Yeah, look, I don't kill him for that three-point attempt at the end. I think he thought, and he did kind of have to rush it and get it up. He clearly didn't get like a good look. He just kind of threw it up. But he's kind of like LeBron, and he is recognized as the best player in the world now, where if LeBron isn't his typical phenomenal self, you kind of look at it as a bad game. And that's what I think. Like Joker, I mean, I get it. Maybe you say he wasn't as good as the numbers, but 26-12 or 26-11 now, they've changed 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Now the turnovers killed him.
That's what I'm talking
about. That killed the whole team. They had 20 as a team. He has 7. And that and the missed free throws, they shot 63% from the line. They aren't a good free throw shooting team anyway, but 63%, nobody shoots it that poorly.
And remember, Brew, he missed 2 free throws at the end of Game 1, and they got away with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like that's
and he's an 82% career shooter. So he shot 6 for 10. So really, if he makes his free throws at a typical rate and cuts down on the turnovers, now he will have a 7 or a 6 turnover game every now and then. Like every 3 weeks or so, he'll have a game like that, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. So that's not that unusual. That's what he's got to cut down on. But here's the thing. When you say you need more from him, You just need him to play better, really cut down the turnovers and hit his free throws.
Yeah.
They can win with him going 26, 11, and 10.
It's the turnovers.
Because remember, the last three losses of the Michael Malone era, these were Jokic's numbers. 61, 10, and 10.
Yeah.
33, 12, and 9. 41, 15, and 13. Now, those were good teams, Indiana, Golden State, and Minnesota. But that shows you, like, it's not about Jokic needing to have 40. It's about him being efficient, not having the turnovers, and getting other guys involved. And I agree with you. Other than Christian Brown, like, Westbrook was solid.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon was solid. Michael MPJ came back with a nice game.
So I wanted to bring that up. This was the first real major adjustment, I would say, from Adelman, where the first game one, he had 26 minutes. He didn't play at the end of the game. Those were Russ's minutes. I felt like he did try to get himself back in. He got hurt a little bit.
Well, that's
but
the concern.
15 rebounds, he was playing big. He was playing inside rather than just floating around the arc.
So that worked. Now, he, after the game, talked about how you said it was a dumb play where he got hurt. If he has to miss any time, it's the first significant injury of these playoffs.
He's trying to get back in. Is he going to miss time?
I don't know. We haven't gotten an update. Can I just open up, just put on the back burner a potential conversation?
Sure.
So last year, the Nuggets lost in round 2, and Game 2, which they lost, Joker had a 7-turnover, 15-point. They got blown out.
Right.
Game 6, he didn't play that much because, remember, if you guys remember, they lost by like 40 points. That game was over immediately. And in Game 7, he was fine, but they had a Game 7 20-point lead at home and they lost. That was in round 2. If this year they lose in round 1 and there's another game like this where one of the losses, like, oh, you know what I mean? Some of that's on Joker. I think the best player alive conversation opens up again. It seems like it's been closed, so you know what I mean, cemented, but typically if you have a couple back-to-back relatively early playoff exits and it's not like, well, what more could you ask from him? The guy was unbelievable. That's how those conversations open. I don't know who would storm through it.
I was going to say, it's interesting because who would you put? Because
Giannis is
I don't
gonna be
think
out
you're
of there.
saying Shea. As great as he is, he'll be the MVP. If he leads them to a championship, do we really feel like Shea, though, as great as he is the best player in the world?
If he wins the MVP and wins the championship with a team that we don't think has other stars, it at least, my point is,
you would say yes?
We're at least, we should at least be able to have the conversation.
It's open, because you're right.
Now,
it would be open.
Right now, the conversation is closed. He has closed it, but let's see how the rest of the series goes, see if it opens back up. That's all I'm saying.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Knicks quickly. They mounted another fourth-quarter comeback, but this one came up short, courtesy of Dennis Schroeder's 3 with a minute to go. Brunson had 37. Cade had 33. Brew is New York in trouble.
Well, look, I picked the Knicks in 7, so I thought, this is going to be a tough, hard-fought series. Here, and Cade did what I thought. Remember I said, look, his first game, playoff game ever, he kind of struggled, even though he still had like 21 and 12, but he didn't shoot it that well. I thought he'd come back with a big second game. He did. So that's something for Knicks fans to be concerned about. Here's the 2 reasons they might be in trouble. Number 1 is Thibodeau basically plays 7 people. I mean, 2 of the bench players played 4 minutes each, including
Campaign, who was awesome.
He was a hero, one of the heroes of Game 1. But so this is a physical, and I like it because all over the league, they are letting teams play more physical, which must be a shock to the player system. Because it's not like the 90s or 2000s where you're used to this during the season. It's just gone from like 40 to 85 on the toughness, physical scale. So a series is physical. This emotionally draining when every game is kind of close. Are those minutes going to add up?
Yes.
For the Knicks? Okay,
so
that's one reason they may be in trouble. It's only round 1, by the way.
Yeah.
And then secondly, Cat. Did they just trade one guy who drops off in the playoffs for another who drops off in the playoffs? Because Cat had 10 points. And Tobias Harris, who gives up like 4 inches to him, was guarding for a lot of that game. And Jalen Duren's the other guy who's a young big man. Like, Cat should have gone crazy last night.
How about just take a shot in the fourth?
Right, because Cat is not, you can't give me this, because Doc said it about Kyle Kuzma, and Kuzma's not a star, but Doc can draw up a play for him. But Cat shouldn't be, we just didn't get the ball to Cat, or it wasn't finding him.
Right.
No, you're a star. Yeah. You go get the ball. You demand the ball.
With Tobias Harris guarding you,
right.
You demand the ball.
And he did none of that.
Is that Jalen's responsibility a
some
little
of
bit?
it, because Jalen pounds it, not unlike a lot of the great point guards, he pounds it a little too much. As great as he is, he over-dribbles a little.
But there was also a short moment in the game when Jalen left in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Jalen ran to the locker room, and if there was ever a moment where Cat's like, all right, couple possessions for me, our captain's out, I'm there. So that, listen, and Mikal Bridges, who was fine through the first half of the game, he obviously missed some big shots, but late. But when your two big offseason additions combined for 6 second-half points, combined for 0 in the fourth, and Cat has a 0 field goal attempt, 0 assist, 2 rebound fourth quarter, that's brutal. Now, they could have stolen it anyway, but losing to we've got to, sometimes teams win, and it's like, well, they hit 23s, throw it out.
Right.
If you lose and the other team only hit 6, it's a little concerning. Detroit hit 6 threes. Now, that 6th was Schroeder's, which was, the huge shot, and good for him, champion. But that was, I'm ready to overreact to all these games.
I love it.
And after game 1 of the Knicks, I was like, quick series.
5, right.
After Knicks in 5, now I'm like, oh boy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.